This is the darker history of Martin Luther you probably didn't know. He's not that great of a guy. Martin Luther is famous for challenging church authority, Catholic Church authority that is, in the 1500s. Now, to be honest, it was a good call. I mean, there's corruption was out of control with the Catholic Church. When he breaks with the Catholic Church, he creates his own religion known as Lutheranism. He pushes the idea for people to read the Bible and interpret it their own way, or a different way. There's a lot of negatives here. This is not just, oh, they've made a new religion, it's all good. No, it's people started reading things and interpreting it their own way, and there's a lot of really bad things that are about to happen. So in essence, this is like a QAnon movement that popped out. People are reading information and jumping to crazy conclusions. The first issue that pops out is what we call the Peasants' Revolt of 1524. Peasants saw Luther's challenge to church authority as a challenge on all authority, and they took it upon themselves to rise up against their lords and turn into massive revolts all over the Holy Roman region. Luther's first stance is actually to back up the peasants against the lords, which doesn't sit well considering that he is considered part of the aristocracy with allies all around him that are lords. So within a year, he writes a pamphlet entitled Against the Robbing and Murdering Hordes of Peasants. In this text, Luther addresses the princes of the German region known as the Holy Roman Empire to slay, stab, smite any peasants that are resisting authority. Well, Mr. Martin, what happened? Look at this guy right here. He's playing flute like, well, he's getting attacked. By the end of 1525, the rebellion is squashed. Luther is also famous for pointing out how awful the Catholics were to the Jews. Just to give you an example, they've dealt with Jews as if they were dogs rather than humans. Now in this document, Luther is just pointing out how awful the Catholics have been to Jewish people for years. And then several years later, he writes this book. Yeah. The book I just showed you is very popular in Germany in the 1930s. Go figure. And you best believe this guy would probably love it. Now in this book, he breaks down 7 things that need to be done to the Jews, which I'll just paraphrase. Stop synagogues, stop religious readings, enslave them, don't let them work, don't let them think. Like I said, the Germans used this shit in 1930s. So, overall, did he do good things? Yes, of course. He pointed out the wrong issues in the Catholic Church, and he kind of gave a lot of power back to people. However, he clearly was famous for saying one thing and then realizing how bad it was, and then saying something completely different. And some of his writings will go on to influence some of the most heinous atrocities in history. Luther is clearly a major figure in history, but he is not by any means an angel. Thank you so much.